Hey, this is Tanner with Dwarvenkegger, and today I'm going to be flipping through the black card section of my art binder. Um, these are basically just cards that I've collected over the years that I like just because of the art. Art's kind of what got me into Magic the Gathering back in the day. I got some random cards from my uncle, actually, who still plays, and I just thought the art on them was so cool. I had played Pokemon for years, but when I started seeing Magic the Gathering, I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. So I got a lot of Dark Rituals just because that's a pretty sweet card. Oh, and I'm also enjoying a nice Dos Equis while I do this. Like I said, these are just the black cards, but a big fan of Dark Ritual. But man, just some of the art, some of the fantasy and sci-fi stuff on these cards is just fantastic. I think my favorite set of art came from the Dark. I've got a lot of cards from the Dark in here. And they're mostly old, but there are some modern, ones. Vampire Reverend, came out in the new set, and I thought that was pretty cool, so I threw that in there. But for the most part, you're going to see that these are old cards. Unholy Strength, that's a cool one. Eater of the Dead, that is one of my absolute favorite cards. Not only is it just a good card, shows up in a lot of commander decks, but man, I think the art on that is freaking amazing. And another one, this is my favorite swamp of all time. This is 7th edition, so I got that in foil, so I think that's pretty cool. Another great one, Season of the Witch. Also love horror movies, so of course you'll notice that most of the cards in this collection kind of have a horror theme to them. It's cool, kind of reminds you of like Creepshow or something. Ragman, that's another good one. Also from the Dark. Alright. Bone Harvest, that's a pretty cool one. It's not that new cards don't have cool art, but man, these old ones, when Magic was first getting started, and it was just, I think it's just so much grittier, so much hardcore. I got a Beta Fear in there. Darkest Hour from 7th edition, that's a cool one. Raised Dead, that's a pretty old card, it's been reprinted a bunch. Greed, 7th edition. All the cards I got from my uncle, like I said, were 7th edition, so that's why it kind of has a special place. Fallen Angel, that's a good one. Got some Japanese 7th edition Swamp, so that's cool. Man, I think when it comes to Mexican food, or, cervezas in general, can't go wrong with Dos Equis. Love it. And I'm more of a dark beer kind of guy anyway, so, not that Dos Equis is super, super dark, but, it's darker than Corona. Not a fan of Corona. So there are some more modern ones in here. Extremely Slow Zombie from the new Unstable set. I thought that was a pretty... Let's see if I can try to get that in better focus. I thought that was a super cool card just because there's 4 variants on the art. So I'm still cracking Unstable packs looking for the other 3. And another one is Summon the Pack. This is a mythic, actually, from Unstable. And what I like about this card is the art's pretty cool, but it reminds me of Cabin in the Woods, which is one of my favorite horror movies, too. So it appeals to me on multiple levels. Dark Privilege there in the middle, that's a really cool one. Love that. Almost a little bit of a gremlin art kind of going on there. Childhood Horror, that's another one that I'm like, man, they just don't make cards like that anymore. Well, they could, but they haven't in a while. Crypt Rats, for those who, are playing Pauper right now. Love Pauper. Midnight Ritual, it's a fun card. The Phyrexian cards are pretty sweet too. Let me get close to that. Dominaria is the next set coming out at the filming of this video, and I'm really hoping they kind of get the whole, Yawgmoth, Urza, Phyrexian. I hope they kind of get that story going again, because I was a huge fan of that. And to me, that's Magic, those original bad guys. There's some good ones. Like I said, these are cards that I've just picked up just because I like the art. Some of them are worth a couple of bucks, but nothing crazy. I like that one. That's pretty sweet. Anointed Deacon. I thought that was pretty cool. Just because you don't see too many violent Magic the Gathering cards anymore. I know they say the game is supposed to be for like 13 and up, but you really don't see too many violent ones. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, there's blood in that card. So that goes in the binder. Also, Lurking Chupacabra. To my knowledge, and I might be wrong, that is the first Chupacabra card in Magic. So also being a fan of cryptozoology, that definitely had to go in there. Wall of Bone. That's a pretty cool one too. Unburdened. Look at that. That's fun. Almost reminds me of like the nun from like the Conjuring movies. Apprentice Necromancer. That's a fun card. Spirit of the Night. Necromancy. That is worth a couple of bucks, but man, that art almost kind of has like a Shrunken Head voodoo vibe to it. Absolutely love it. Truth be told, I don't actually drink Dos Equis that often, but we just had a Super Bowl party and my grandpa is a huge fan of it, so he brought it over. Two cards I wanted to highlight: Haunting Wind and Demonic Horrors. Love these cards. Love these cards. Because it's dark and it's gritty and it's evil and it's scary. That's the kind of stuff that I look for in cards that I like. I mean, there's other, things that make cards cool, but to me, that kind of stuff is what really sets Magic apart. Mortal Kombat. It's a pretty fun card. That's a foil Onslaught Swamp. And then finally, a lot of people's favorite, including mine, the Lorwyn Swamp. Super cool. Super colorful, because normally when you're looking at swamps, you're looking at stuff like that. You're not looking at, it's kind of dark. But that, I mean, man, there's just so many colors going on. That's absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. All right, well, that about wraps it up. Cheers.